Well, that just wasn't the problem. It was close. We got pretty close on that one. But it didn't make any sense at the end of the day why it wouldn't take a mini, it would take a big one. Regular size fuse. So, got in and I tested it, and it was not operating like it should. So I thought, alright, let's do it again. So I started over, and that's just my voltmeter telling me I didn't shut it off. It's shutting itself off. That's one thing I love about this one. It shuts itself off because I can be a bit of an airhead. So, back to what I was saying. When the elk hit, of course, it's going to be tied to that. The poor elk. It boogered up this whole passenger side of my vehicle. So, when I double checked, I started from scratch again, checking everything. Like I did last time, I didn't have any power to this fuse that I started with that goes from the battery hot to my bus bar hot. None at all. And before we had power there. So I knew something was wrong. This was mounted to the wall here, the fender, and connected to this wire that goes to the bus bar. When I took the zip tie off and the fuse holder picked it up, this was barely in there and it came right out. So, twofold, I know better than to not solder. Secondly, give me a break. Sometimes I fuck up. Not everybody can be perfect, but I try. So I said all that about being perfect just to, not perfect, a perfectionist. Just to find that the one time, probably the only time, I didn't solder a joint together, happens to be the one that just failed on me. And that's alright, because it was a quick find and a quick fix. So I got my handy dandy soldering iron. I also guess I needed an excuse to solder, which I love to do. And I can't find my heat shrink, so we're going to do without right now because I don't want to dig through every freaking thing I have to try to find it because everything is in utter disarray. So, that being said, I disconnect the wire from the battery, okay? We are El Disconnecto. Then the wire that goes from the fuse to the bus bar, and the wire that, well, I'll show you. I'm going to cut off this insulation and whatnot that I had on there from, actually I take that back. These are self-soldering, which I'll never buy again, because nobody can solder a self-solder the way you can solder, like, yourself if you know how to solder. That should be a riddle of some sort. Why solder when you know how to solder? Why have a self-solder if you know how to solder? I don't know. Anyways, whatever. So I thought, when I remember buying those and thinking, oh, that'll be handy-dandy and super fast, and I don't know why. It was like one of those spontaneous moments. I do know why. Actually, it just came to me. I'm one of those people that when I see something I haven't tried before, something new, I gotta try it. And that does not apply to heroin or meth or I'm sure there's something else out there I don't want to try just because I haven't tried it. But for most things, especially consumer, whatever, consumables, new cookies, new ice cream, whatever, I gotta buy it. So, part of being an inventoneer, is my word, I made it up. Actually, I didn't. I stole it from a gentleman on YouTube that builds these awesome things out of foam concrete, and I am super inspired by him, and I forgot that I stole the word from him until I just said that I inventoneered that word. I didn't. I have lime fog, and Morgellons fog, obviously. So I apologize, sir, for stating that incorrectly the first time. I didn't intend to, but it took a second for me to remember where that actually came from. I wish I could remember the name of his channel right now, because he's so cool. And I am in the process, well, I was in the process of building a mini rocket mass heater stove myself until I'm like over 3/4 of the way done, until I found his channel, and I stopped everything because I'm going to tear down everything I did and redo it with this concrete foam thing that he's inventioneered, and I'm super inspired by. Okay, so there's a million ways to skin a cat, and I forgot one tool. I'll be back.